Hello, welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna and I am so happy you are here. I am playing along with Stenson's Stamp and Stencil Savvy, which is the first Saturday of the month. Our prompt today is embossing. I'm also playing along with May I Scraplift You during the month of May. And today I am scraplifting Michele McCants, who is the stamp booker, and here is her layout. I have already deviated a little bit from her layout, but um, I grabbed out these music photos. I have two pictures of actually Daryl, Jillian, and Nick at an outdoor concert, and I wanted to bring more music into it, I guess. I've got these papers. You're not going to see much of these papers once I get them down. So this one says music. The other one says, I think it says rock on it. But I can't go all the way across the papers, and this one I cut I think a little bit shorter, so I took the guitar part off, and I'm fishtail bannering it now. But I just wanted to bring in a little bit more music, so I went into my Cricut and cut out this album with all the notes. And again, I'm going to cover most of this up, but it gave me, I guess, I don't know, because I don't always use back pattern paper for a background. It just gave me something else in the background. Now she has a banner up in the right hand corner. I did think about doing that, but after putting this cut file down, I do not do that. So I've fishtail bannered them both. See, can you see how it says rock kind of going up? You're never going to see that once I get everything down. And this one says music, and I don't know if you're going to notice that either. Um, my Cricut had a hard time with the cut file, so I just trimmed off a little bit. You're not going to see that anyway. I'm going to get that positioned. There's one musical note that's sticking off the left-hand side, so I'm just going to trim that off. Here are my photos. Um, this one is 5 by 4, and this one is going to end up being 3 by 4. It started off as a, I'm not sure. I might have printed it 4 by 4. I'm going to layer them there. I did not mat them as you see in the in Michele's layout. So I don't know. There was a lot going on, and I think they're still well defined from the background. So now that I have everything approximately figured out, and when I say everything, just the the background paper essentially and the cut file, well, and the photos kind of. I'm going to get them all adhered down. I will have Michelle's um, I, Instagram as well as her YouTube channel listed below. Go check her out. She is getting close to 1,000 subscribers and she could use a little help. So go give her some love. I love watching her videos. She was also, you've heard, if you've been here before, you've heard me talk a lot about I was a consultant a long time ago with Close to My Heart. She has been probably as long as well, longer than I have, more recently too. And so she's got some of the old items from Close to My Heart, like I do. So I did pull out these canvas flare, and then I'm going to put this all to the side so that I can do my embossing. And the last time I did embossing was the last time that this series had the prompt of embossing. I'm going to use my white ink. I have an ink pad, or I have a stamp set that has both a cassette as well as a tape. I'm going to use those both. And I will get out my embossing powder, which has glitter in it. I would not necessarily recommend it. And I probably said this last time too. So I used to have embossing powder a long time ago. I think I got rid of all of it. I recently got this white with the glitter. You will see it is fantastic the way it turns out, but it kind of, well, and maybe all embossing powder gets all over, but it seems like the glitter more so. But anyway, it was fun and I was glad to do it. So this first one, I am so darn careful and I just tap it right back in there. And I don't know why, but after that, I'm going to totally forget and go right for the tray. So I kind of wanted to do one just to see how it was going. Now that I know it's going okay, I'm going to stamp two more records, and then I will stamp 3 cassettes, just kind of thinking that I'm going to use them in 3 different clusters. Here is where I go wild with my embossing powder and dump it all over there, which is fine, and then almost drop it. And then, yeah, just go right in the tray, which is fine. That's why the tray is there. I could have been more careful though. Anyway, And now there is glitter on my mat and it's just going to get all over everything. So that's okay. A little bit of sparkle didn't hurt anybody. Here I go with the cassettes. They stamp off kind of, it looks not great, but once you get the embossing down, it looks great. So, and the stamp pad is White Daisy from Close to My Heart, long time retired. And here I go. Same thing. I will judiciously use a lot of the embossing powder and just what I would recommend is instead of just dumping it into the tray. Oh, I do look at that. See, that should be the way you do it. You're still going to get some on the tray, but at least a lot of it went into your little container there. Oh, and it's all over the place. Oh, and it's so glittery. Okay, here's what I got. So then I have a very old antique heat gun, which I got when I started scrapbooking 26 years ago. And I started going on the back. It wasn't giving me good results, so I go on the front, and I actually get to the part where I'm like, "Oh yeah, that looks like it went." You know, you can't tell it on the camera here, but it looks like it embossed. So then, okay, then I'm gonna go the next ones, and I don't know if I show you all this, but well, here it didn't really take. And that here I'm thinking it's done, and it's not. So I'll go back in a second time with the heat gun, but I bring this back. So the part of there's part of Stamp and Stencil Savvy where we have a prompt for stamping, that's embossing. Then we also can, if we choose, use a stencil. And I have a musical note stencil. My husband and I do a lot of concerts as well as our kids do. So it is very beneficial to me to have something like musical stamps, musical stencil. So I always enjoy getting those out. I'm going to stamp with white onto this black paper, which I think turns out very nice. And at this point, I'm really not sure why I put those flare down. I mean, they're kind of holding my place where they want the clusters to go, but I kind of jumped the gun with that. I guess I was so excited. Um, one's blue, I think one's greenish, and one's kind of the brown. So I did end up taking one of them off so that I can get this stencil down. And I'm not going to be super careful with this. And again, you're only going to see really a little bit of it once the photos get down. So I'm just taking, again, my White Daisy and getting the ink through the stencil. And had I not, there's that one point that it actually shifts. Had it not shifted, I might have gone over it one more time with another layer. But like I said, you're not going to see a lot of it, so this works out just fine. I will also have the playlist listed below for May I Scraplift You. It's with pineapple papers. So Crystal puts together a list of suggested people to scraplift each day, and you can use those or not. Michele is up for today. And there's a playlist. So you can just go to the playlist, click on it, and you can watch all the layouts from all the days of May I Scraplift You this month. Now I will reveal the stencil work. There we go. And I'll clean up my space a little bit. And then I will work on the photos and the clusters. When I was looking at Michele's Instagram account, I picked out two different ones, two different layouts that had two pictures in it. That's what I was really looking for. But I love this one in that it can be simple, but yet you can do anything with it. And I think you can tell that from the difference between hers and mine. I end up taking these flare off. They just weren't going. It wasn't the mood and feel I was working that I was thinking of. Especially, I could tell that once I would start to put down my embossed pieces. So here I go taking them off. And if it does rip it all, I don't think it really did, but if it does rip it all, I know I can put those records right on top. And I'm going to put some foam adhesive right behind the records and the cassette tape. And I'm going to keep these clusters very simple. It's going to have one record, one cassette tape, and a musical note. Now, actually, I was going to say in real life, as far as design goes, if you really want to be, uh, I don't know, mindful of that. You scrapbook your way and there are no rules. But if you want to follow the rules or a guideline, I guess, the each cluster should be kind of a different size. So honestly, like one could have 3 elements, one could have 5 elements. Odds are always more pleasing to the eye than even. So that kind of thing, a small, medium, large. But for today, we are going with symmetry. And I do love how this works out. I wasn't sure what else I was going to do. I certainly have other stamps that I could have embossed. Um, yeah, and once you have all the stuff out, it's not like it's hard to keep going, but um, I'm going to stick like this. To do this, to do a concert layout like this, you wouldn't need to have the pattern paper that has any kind of music on it. You can barely see the word rock on there. I don't know if you can read the, I guess you can still read the word music, but not if you're looking for it. But you could have had any kind of pattern paper, and then by bringing in one, the cut file, but two, the stamped elements kind of makes the page. Here are my Paper Studio notes. They have a little bit of glitz and glamour on them, so it goes well with the embellished or um, the records and the tapes that are embossed with that silver glitter. This layout took me just a little bit longer than normal, and I don't think it had anything to do with the embossing part. And oftentimes I run into problems where I just can't get going. Like I think too hard about it. I think once I get the camera rolling, I'm free to do what I want. But sometimes I overthink it before I even start or before I even turn that camera on. Now I had this title on my desk. It is 49 Market. It says Moments. And I've decided that was as good a title as any. And again, it was kind of an afterthought for a title. And so I'm trying to think, where do I want it? Where can I smush it in that it looks like it's supposed to be there? So I was thinking about taking these the records and the tape off on that right cluster. It is stuck good, and so it did not go anywhere, and I wasn't going to take it off. So, but I'm able to tuck this title right above Daryl's head, right above Jillian's head, and I'm not losing anything of the photo. So I like to do that, and it looks like it's meant to be there. It's just in the sky. I tried several different colors of sprays before I got the right one. I wanted kind of the blue, and if you look at the close-ups in the end, that blue does match really well, and it's just another thing to tie the whole page together rather than using a black. I mean, black would work too. I could have used I don't know. I could have used white because I used white ink with the stenciling. I didn't like that idea. And then I could have added gold, but actually silver. Does anybody know if they make silver spray? I don't think I've seen any silver spray. There's colored spray that has silver in it. Anyway, all right, that is going to be it for me. And until next time, may your memories always have a home on paper.